Something about sheep. How many stories and anecdotes have you heard about sheep over the years? Chances are, plenty. You've heard that sheep are stupid. You've heard about how sheep will follow the leader. Sheep will only follow the shepherd's voice. We've heard all manner of sayings about sheep. A wolf in sheep's clothing, counting sheep to go to sleep, the black sheep of the family, separate the sheep from the goats. There are nursery rhymes about sheep. Baa, black sheep. Mary had a little lamb. Little Bo Peep has lost her sheep. But for all our cultural references to sheep, nothing matches the Bible's use of sheep to teach us lessons about faith, love, and the value God puts on the soul of man. Think about the 23rd Psalm that David wrote. How appropriate was it that God should choose a shepherd to be king over Israel? In Psalm 78, verse 52, the psalmist tells us that God led Israel in the wilderness like sheep. David writes in Psalm 119 that he had gone astray like a lost sheep. Isaiah 53:7 says, "All we like sheep have gone astray." Jeremiah wrote a seething rebuke of the spiritual shepherds of Israel, who scattered the people like sheep. Jeremiah 23:1. Ezekiel said that God would search for his sheep. Ezekiel 34:11. Over and over in the Old Testament, God's people are referred to as sheep. Yet the New Testament is equally filled with the language of the shepherd and the sheep. Jesus tells his disciples when he sends them out to go out to the lost sheep of Israel. Matthew chapter 10, verse 6. He says that in the judgment that he will separate people as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. Jesus foretold that his disciples would scatter like sheep when the shepherd is struck. Matthew 26:31. Perhaps the most symbolic of illustrations about God's love is related in Matthew chapter 18, verse 12, where Jesus asks, "If a man has 100 sheep, and one of them has gone astray, does he not leave the 99 on the mountains and go in search of the one that went astray?" This shows the extent of God's love and willingness to seek out the lost by sending his Son to this world. Should we not do the same for those whom we know? Should we not be about the business of seeking the lost that have gone astray? From Moody's Anecdotes. Dr. Andrew Bonar told me how in the Highlands of Scotland a sheep would often wander off into the rocks and get into places that they couldn't get out of. The grass on these mountains is very sweet, and the sheep like it, and they will jump down 10 or 12 feet, and when they can't jump back again, and the shepherd hears them bleating in distress, they may be there for days until they have eaten all the grass. The shepherd will wait until they are so faint they cannot stand, and then they will put a rope around him, and he will go over and pull that sheep out of the jaws of death. "Why don't they go down there when the sheep first gets there?" I asked. "Ah," he said, "they are so very foolish they would dash right over the precipice and be killed if they did." And that is the way with men. They won't go back to God till they have no friends and have lost everything. If you are a wanderer, I tell you that the Good Shepherd will bring you back the moment you have given up trying to save yourself and are willing to let him save you his own way. And we have Miller's corollary. Objects are lost because people look where they are not instead of where they are. Henry L. Miller. And those are our thoughts for today.